A big spike last summer. Last year was our busiest year ever for number of autopsies and number of drug overdose deaths. And it was largely due to a very big spike we saw in the summer, but this continued throughout the second half of the year last year. We did see a slowdown at the beginning of this year. However, in probably the very end of June, we saw a really big spike in the number of cases that we were getting. That resulted in a record number of deaths and what's probably going to end up being overdose deaths for the month of July in this year. It's ironic because until last July, that July was our busiest month ever in terms of number of cases, and then now that honor falls to this July. And unfortunately, the month following July, the month of August, was our second busiest month of cases ever. And between the 2 months, we had about 215 autopsies that we did, which is usually a number that we would do in 4 months instead of 2. And that increase, although we did see increased numbers of suicides and traffic fatalities, was mostly due to overdoses, and at least what we believe are going to be overdoses when we get the final numbers back. And that really looks like those are mostly either heroin and fentanyl or what we call the fentanyl analogs, the designer drugs that are made by changing the fentanyl molecule just a little bit. Well, as you can imagine, increasing your workload, almost doubling it from what your baseline normally is, really has an effect on what the staff is put to. So our investigators, our doctors, all of our staff have really, they've been under the gun and working very hard to manage this really increased caseload. So far we have been able to do that reasonably well, but it's no question that it's been a strain. And fortunately, we have a couple of new staff members that have been able to make that easier, a new investigator, a new doctor. Without those, I'm not sure what we would have done. So we have that stress on the workload that the staff has, and there's also the capacity that we have for body storage, and that's particularly acute in Manatee County, where our current facility really has pretty limited body storage. We can store about 18 bodies if we stretch things there. Many days, maybe most days, over the last couple of months where we've had this huge crush of cases, we have had our morgue capacity at capacity or over capacity, and we've actually had to have some bodies stored off-site for a period of time because we simply did not have the room for them in our facility.